Hey there everybody, it's Dan Strong with Excel VBA is Fun. Thanks for tuning back in. Today we have a question from our dear friend KRN, Kevin. And what he has asked is basically he's got this cool user form going on here where he takes data from this sheet, and if he clicks on one name or the other, actually I think I'm halfway through debugging it. Let's go ahead and pop that up again. So basically it brings a list of I guess last names from this sheet, and so if we click on Smith and we go to Brian, who's the only Smith on here, and we can select his badge number, which is the only option really available. Essentially, if I'm going to go ahead and let it play all the way through, let me take this off here. What it does is it fills this list box right here. So I'm going to hit F5, fills up this list box right here with all the appropriate columns that he wanted to show. And so he got that working pretty well. And then KRN asked me, hey, is it possible that basically I wouldn't be able to capture the row number or somehow look up which row this is on, so that if I were to click on this AC search TT, and with the date of 430 and CLT being whatever this column is, if I click on this top one, that on the worksheet behind me, that row would be highlighted right here. And of course the answer is yes, you can do that. See, that would be row 2. So just remember that. So let's click on it here. And actually, before we get that far, I think it would behoove us to check out what happens when we collect this data. So let's go back here and let's select another name here. And let's just debug through that a little bit. Whenever the last name is changed, let's hit F8. Okay, let's put this way up here. This CMB first name is going to clear out, and it does this change event here, clears the badges, and here's the badge change event. This is what's going to load this combo box here. So clears everything. So what he does, he's using an in string. For X is 2 all the way to LR. LR is the last row, which is 86 at this time. And you can view all our videos in the past about getting the last row. It's very simple once you learn how to do it. Anyway, for X is going to be 2 all the way to 86 in this case. And he uses the in-string function. INSTR is amazing. So he is wanting to see on the current worksheet on row X and column 8, which we see as the value of Brian, and then his let's see, CMB first name dot value is blank. Well, this is boring. Let's hit F5 here. What do we got here? May have some kind of error. So this is what I was talking about. Let me start over here. I think there's a much simpler way than using that match function. So I'm going to click on Smith again, and we'll do Brian, and we'll click on here. Now here we are. So we have this first name value is Brian, and the what's in that cell on that current row, which is row 2, says Brian. So this in-string function just says if this string is contained within this string, Brian is within Brian, right? So yes, equals 1, meaning at the very first position. Then and if Smith is within Smith and this number is within this number on this sheet. If all those conditions are true, then proceed, and they are in this row 2. Then we take this list box and we add an item. That would be AC search TT, which comes from column 1 and row 2. So it adds that item there, and then we use the method of putting things in the see they treat this one as column 0, and the next one would be column 1, and then 2, and then 3, and so on. And that's going to equal whatever is in column 2 on the worksheet and 4 and 5 on the worksheet respectively in the current row of X, which is 2. So we got the date here, and then we're going to punch in CLT, whatever that means. And then we have CLT hyphen upstairs. Now, for whatever reason, this is invisible. It's not a visible column. So if you look at it now, there is a fourth column, but it's not visible. And you can change that real easily if you want to by changing some of the properties, and we'll review that in a second. Now, here's something that he does. He uses the current row in column 58, way out there. He does something where he takes this and the current name and the current first name and plops it in a cell, and then he takes the next column, 59, and makes an advanced match formula using whatever he plopped in the previous one and using this range right here. And all this stuff, and ultimately that gives you the row number that's on. And so that row number right here pops into column 5, which is, they call it 4, because remember we start with 0. Pops that into the list box in what they call column 4, which is simply row 2. So what I would do there, and this is just me, I'm going to comment out these two here, and I'm just going to quite simply say that all this jive here equals X, okay? Because X is always the current row that we're focusing on anyways, so just plop X in column 4. Now you may have a specific reason to use the match function, all that stuff, KRN, so pardon me if I'm oversimplifying. I'm sure there's a lot more to it, but I would probably just have that equal to X. And then later we'll reference that whatever's in column 4, and bada bing, you can just highlight it. So let's go through a little bit more. So let's just hit F5 here. Okay, here's another one. X is 9, so we just put row 9, or whatever X is in that thing there. So let's just go ahead and let this go all the way through. F5. Okay. Now here's the click event. I'm going to click on this one right here, and over here in this invisible column 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 over here is going to contain the row 2, because this is on row 2 in the worksheet. So let's click there. Hit F8. See, I put a little stop marker here. These are wonderful. Just click over here in this gray area and it'll stop for you. So if the list index is not -1, meaning there's something actually in the box, then continue on with this beautiful code. So here we go. We're continuing on. Here's what he's got so far. Selected item is going to be this. AC, search, TT, so whatever's in column 0, I guess. And then my row would be, he's trying to take the list index and highlight that number. The list index is 0, because starting with the first one is for some reason 0 instead of 1. So we can't really select row 0 dot entire item or dot entire row. So what I would do is let's find out what the row number is. So we could do this. We could say my row equals me.lbinfo, that's a list box, dot list, and then we're going to do the same thing, me.lbinfo dot list index, that's meaning the currently selected thing. And then we want column 4, which we consider to be 5, but they consider it 4, okay? And then that's what we want. We want column 4, and that's going to give us the row number, which is hidden over here, but it's still there. So row 2. So if we do that, my row equals 2. So let's try that. My row is now equal to 2. And then now let's try to do this. Let's say the specific worksheet that we want is ws dot ws.cells. In fact, you might just be able to say ws.rows, and then we're going to just say my row, which we know is the number 2, dot entire row dot select. So we want to select row 2. So let's see how that works out on WS sheet, the worksheet called registration. We call WS. Okay, so hit F8, and it looks like we selected that row. So it looks like it's working. Let's test it a few more times. I'm going to take this stop marker off. I will put a little flag, a little bookmark on there in case I need to access it again. For now, I'm going to hit that. Let's just click around. Cargo spot TT, CRO, AC, blah, 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 da, da, da. So yeah, we're able to select. So I'm going to hit the down arrow, up arrow. Now I'm going to just hold my mouse down. And that's pretty cool. Hey, check that out. Alright, Kevin. Hey, if you have any, KRN. If you have any other questions, if you, the viewer, have any questions about how we did all this cool stuff in this YouTube video, don't hesitate to drop us a line. Myself or KRN would be happy to answer your questions. This dummy workbook will be available for download on, just look at our Dropbox link on in the video description. Check out our Facebook page. We have a lot of people, including myself, who frequent that place, and we would be happy to try to answer your questions. It's kind of like a little forum, so check out our Facebook page. Excel VBA is fun. Thanks for watching. God bless, guys.